Swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Markus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Broad Street lights. Dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Flying guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. I like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing their heat, call it do or die. Squad, hear the battle cry. Fly like an eagle soars in the sky. Tone and Markus always standing by. Bringing the heat, call it do or die. Philly squad, hear the battle cry.
What's going on, dude?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We are back. We are back. The Bald Eagles podcast are back, and the NFL Combine is over. The offseason is officially over. It is officially Howie season as we are now approaching the NFL draft. So now it's about to get nuts. It's about to get absolutely nuts. What's going on, Tom?
Man, oh man, oh man. You already know how we give it up here, man. You guys are tuned into the Bald Eagles podcast. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. He's Markus Thomas. You know what it is, man. I'm excited as always to talk to you, my man. And I feel great for one. I feel great. Had a little bit of a rough day, but it still worked out in the end. Thank God.
It happens.
Thank God. I'm sure all of y'all deal with your own issues at your respective jobs. So yeah, man. Regardless, things work out for the best. They work out in God's good plan.
Facts.
And, man, I'm ready to talk football. I'm ready to talk some Philadelphia Eagles, some updates. I'm ready to talk important dates in the NFL. Man, where do you want to begin? I know this AJ Brown stuff is starting to not starting to. It's been percolating and every week they have a new angle to approach it from.
Yeah. I saw a post today on Twitter. I had to laugh, and it had it said in month 4 of World War III, and it was a picture of Diana Rossini popping out of a foxhole, talking about AJ Brown is on the trade blocks. Oh man, it's nuts. It's about to get nuts. I did not expect Howie Roseman and Nick Sirianni to be the center of attention like they were at the Combine. I did not see that happening. There's always a bunch of GMs walking around talking, but for some reason, it seemed like Howie Roseman was everywhere.
Yeah,
he was on Rich Eisen. He was on NFL Network. Everybody had Howie Roseman sitting down. So, of course, like you said, they wanted to ask about AJ Brown and everything, and Fangio and Stoutland leaving.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like they were it seemed like Howie Roseman was the number one get for any media establishment that covered the Combine.
Are you surprised though? I mean,
that surprised me. He's always there, but it surprised me like that he was the center of attention. That's what surprised me. Not that they wanted to talk. They talked to all the coaches and all the scouts and all the GMs and stuff like that. But for whatever reason, everybody wanted to talk to Howie. Everybody did. The Seattle Seahawks didn't even get that much love.
I was literally about to say, I don't think the Seahawks even got. And look, when you win the Super Bowl, everyone's poaching your staff. Guys got to get paid. The price went up for everybody. So, you know, the league is always, you know, the media is always interested in that team.
Yeah.
But frankly, it's like their Super Bowl came and it went. You know, I mean, obviously in their fan base, they're living with it and they're enjoying it. Let's not get it twisted. They're loving on it. But
it's just there.
It happened. It's a moment in history, but it just seemed like that Eagles Super Bowl with everything wrapped up into it. See, the Eagles are box office. Let's just call it what it is. The Eagles are box office. They're cinema, and there's very few organizations in this league, and there's very few organizations in sports where you probably could make a feature film out of.
Yeah,
you could make a feature film about Howie Roseman with the Eagles,
and also we got fans everywhere. I think Dallas has probably got the biggest fan base across the country.
Mm-hmm.
That's been proven. That ain't no secret. And the Eagles, I mean, even like I even think about when announced the team at the game at the Super Bowl, and the whole stadium was did the Eagles chant when they came out of the tunnel. And crazy. I was like, I knew the Eagles fans travel, but there's Eagles fans everywhere. You can't say that. How many teams can you say that about? There's 49ers fans in a lot of places. And I'm trying to think, like, what other team? I guess the Giants, maybe, because you got New Yorkers everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, Dallas, New York, Philadelphia, and I'm trying to think of another team that, like, where they fan base travels like that. I guess you could say Kansas City, because of the newness, not the newness anymore, but Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes was the best in the business, just like Tom Brady was, and you had Patriots fans everywhere. You didn't have Patriots fans, you had Tom Brady fans, because he was the one winning the game. So it was like the Michael Jordan syndrome all over again. You had people that didn't know crap about basketball. Who's your favorite player? Michael Jordan. Really? that's too easy. Give me somebody else that's not on TV every day. So, but saying all that to say, I didn't even see the Seattle parade. I heard about how many people were there. I know they had one, but like you just didn't. It was a moment and it was gone.
Yeah, it didn't go viral.
Nope.
I just didn't see it anywhere.
Nope.
I'm saying, by the way, I'm hearing the echo on my end, on your end.
On my end?
Yeah. Are you playing YouTube in the background?
Nah, I got it muted.
Oh, okay. I thought I heard myself. But anyway, regardless though, that San Fran parade.
Can you hear me now?
Oh no, we're good. We're great.
Okay.
I thought I heard myself in the background.
You may have it switched up to NVIDIA broadcast, and I switched it back to my Shure.
Okay.
So I don't know, but
and I heard that Seattle parade had a fantastic turnout. I heard it did, but it didn't go viral. There weren't really any signature moments that I saw. Right? Please, anybody tag me in it if it happened. I'm just not even trying to slight it. It's just, it came in the win. And the Eagles, like you said, Howie Roseman, Nick Sirianni, they were the topic of discussion, and largely because of the AJ Brown stuff, but also the Philadelphia Eagles. Everyone's always waiting to see what Howie Roseman does.
Yeah,
because they know that he never ever sits still. You see, what I respect about it more than anything is Howie Roseman has never become the guy who just makes a move to make a move.
Right.
There are guys who make moves just so they can be in the news for a while, a la Jerry Jones.
Facts.
Jerry Jones historically makes moves to be in the news for a little bit. And whether they pan out or not is always the flip of the coin. But it always seems like Jerry Jones is just trying to make a move just to put the fire out just a little bit, just to turn the heat down a little bit. But Howie, every move, there's always a link in the chain.
Right.
There's always a link in the chain. You can always go to the nexus of a decision or a move he made and see how it blossomed, right? Perfect example. The 2024 draft class with Quinyon and Coop.
Mm-hmm.
That Cooper DeJean pick, we got that pick from Washington. We traded in that draft. I think we did a pick swap or something like that. And we traded up to get that guy. for Cooper DeJean to end up becoming a superstar nickel corner, a superstar hybrid DB in this league, coming off of a Super Bowl year and a Pro Bowl All-Pro season, first team at that. I mean,
right after Quinyon too?
Right after Quinyon, who also became an All-Pro. Like, there's always a nexus, or there's always a method to the madness. You know, flipping, let's be honest about this. Carson Wentz was flipped.
He was.
In theory, when you think about what they did with the picks. Carson Wentz was flipped for A.J. Brown, Jalen Carter, and I want to say Nolan Smith, or maybe I'm pushing it, but I know for a fact Carson Wentz was flipped for A.J. Brown and Jalen Carter. I could stop there.
You know what? It doesn't even matter, because whether people think it was a good trade, bad trade, who we got, who we didn't get, at the end of the day, we got the chip. So whatever deals were done worked. Whatever deals were done, we got the win, because we got the ultimate prize. And nobody else can. The Patriots can't say it. You know, they got Hargrave. He balled out. They didn't win though. So, however it looks, whatever we had to do, and that I put that squarely in Howie's lap.
Okay,
he's responsible. He got us to the mountaintop twice, and finally, that second time, Jalen took the prize. And everybody can't say that. So again, when you hear all this noise from the outside and hell, even from the inside, I'm so good at dismissing this stuff now because it don't matter. Because we showed that everybody wants to talk about the dysfunction. Everybody wants to talk about how bad A.J. Brown could be. They still ain't figured out a way to prove that anyways.
Mm-hmm.
I still say that, and you can see it in the chat. I don't want A.J. to leave. A.J. needs to stay his behind right here in Philadelphia. He's having a Hall of Fame career, and I don't think that's going to change. But if you go somewhere else, everything is a maybe. It's a gamble either way on both sides. It's a gamble with the team. It's a gamble with the player, and it might not end up in your favor. Somebody gets hurt. If we get the same thing, people still think that. You know, I made that comment. I did a short. I don't know if you saw it. I said if the offensive line had blocked anywhere near what they did in 2024, Kevin Patullo would probably still have his job. Because whether you agree that he was not a good OC or not, a good running game can hide a lot of faults. They can cover up some warts. And we didn't have it. So nobody respected our run. Nobody respected Saquon. So defenses were just pinning their ears back and coming with it.
So listen to this. I just found the final result of the Eagles, Colts, and Saints moves. Because remember, the Eagles made the deals with the Colts, and then the Eagles flipped the Colts pick with the Saints, and so on and so forth, right? So a lot happened in the past few years.
That's how we got Baun, right?
Listen to this. This is nuts. So when it comes to the final result, after all those moves between the Eagles, Saints, and Colts were made, this is what each team got back. The Saints received Chris Olave, Trevor Penning, the offensive lineman, and Jordan Jackson. The Colts received Carson Wentz, Matt Pryor, Alec Pierce, who's a good receiver, by the way, Jelani Woods, Bernhard Raymond, and Andrew Ogletree. The Eagles received Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Kyron Johnson, who's not on the team anymore, Jalen Carter, Cooper DeJean, Jalix Hunt, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., and the 2025 4th-round pick and the 2025 5th-round pick.
So what's that batting average when you go 6 for 7?
That is fucking terrifying.
That is phenomenal.
Leave
Howie alone. Let him cook. The only thing that you want to know and you want to ask him when he's in the kitchen is, hey, do you need something to drink? Can I get you some water? Can I get you some wine? You let me know. I'm gonna stay out your way. I'm gonna stay out your way. Let Howie cook. I'm to the point now, like, I don't want to see it. I don't believe it's the right thing to do. But damn it, if Howie find a way to move AJ Brown, I'm gonna say, you know what? If Howie thought it was the right thing to do, I'm rolling with it. I don't like it, but I'm gonna have to roll with it. Because it ain't been too many times he's been wrong yet. So
yeah, and look, sometimes things don't pan out, but I don't think this season or the 2025 season didn't pan out because Howie Roseman didn't do something.
correct.
Okay, if you want to hold him accountable for the like you mentioned earlier, the Kevin Patullo elevation, okay. He had to sign off on that. And sometimes I think GMs and head coaches, they elevate guys not just because they believe in the guy, or not just because they won a Super Bowl, they got behind the 8 ball, or for whatever reason, right? I think you elevate guys because the last thing you want is to let a guy walk out the door and he becomes something else elsewhere and you had him in the building. I think that's a real thing, especially when it's the same logic with players, right?
Yeah.
You draft a guy, you develop a guy, you invest in a guy, you don't want to let him walk because you still believe in the talent. When it comes to Kevin Patullo, you had him in the building since 2021. You elevated Brian Johnson to the job. Kevin Patullo stayed a good soldier, did his job. We saw the passing game flourish in 2024. We saw the pass game flourish in 2022. He was a part of that staff still, but Shane Steichen and Kellen Moore ultimately were pulling the strings, but he was a part of that staff. He was a part of every part of this journey here. So you in your mind, you're thinking to yourself, okay, this guy's been here. He's seen the worst of it. He's seen the best of it. Let's give this guy his shot. He's been here. The last thing we want to do is let a guy walk, and he hasn't even been given the opportunity when he's been here and earn his lump, taking his lumps.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think they owed it to themselves to give him the shot. Some people may
agree.
say, because honestly, the reality is anybody who brings up an alternative, you're just talking because you don't know what that alternative would have been.
And also, that is enticing to your future coaches, to your whatever you got going on or whatever your plans are in the future. Nobody wants to come to an organization where the possibility of advancement doesn't exist.
Exactly.
So you gotta be in a situation where you can promote from within.
Right.
You have to. He did it twice, 3 times or whatever. Twice, and it just didn't work out. And both times, we still kind of unsure. Kevin Patullo had flashes of brilliance, very brief flashes, but flashes nonetheless. And that's why I said in the beginning, would the situation have been any different if our run game was at least adequate? If our run game was adequate, I'm not counting Saquon getting 1,000 yards. He had to grind his ass off to get them 1,000 yards. So you muted, bro.
The hardest 1,000 yards he probably had to rush for in his life.
Absolutely, in 17 games. So I'm not going to take anything away from it, but I'll say it as a running back. You just got to average the way these games go now. 1,000 yards ain't the same way as it was when OJ and all them other guys played when you only played 14 games or 15 games. So it meant a lot more back then, but he's put the pieces together. We got rid of, and I'm speaking just as what I know as a running back. We got rid of Miles Sanders, and I was a Miles Sanders fan.
I was too.
Got rid of him, and who do we go with? That boy in Chicago that's getting it done, DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, and I don't think DeAndre Swift was bad for us. I actually feel like we didn't
even use him right.
I feel like we actually didn't even use him all the way.
No, we didn't throw that boy one damn screen.
And when we did, he did something with it. I remember one of his most pivotal screen passes he caught was the one he caught in that Buffalo game, setting up the Jalen Hurts touchdown run for the win in overtime.
You see what he's doing in Chicago. And that is a prime example of when you get a coach that understands the personnel that he has. And I blame that on Sirianni and whoever the coach was that year when we had him. Was that Brian Johnson that year? Was that the 23 year?
That was the Brian Johnson season, correct?
Yeah. So, and then of course you get to this past year, and the more I think about it, the more I hate to say it, but the biggest culprit of this season was Stoutland. Because the offensive line could not block. Defenses had zero respect for our run game. None. So if you have no respect for the run game, that means your play action is useless. And what that makes you is one-dimensional as an offense. That was the problem. We didn't have anything to cover them warts, and it cost us. We got burned about that. And to me, that was the biggest indictment of Patullo. You got to think of something else. You got to find a way to make this work. And he couldn't do it.
What do you say to people who say, well, what do you mean Stoutland? Stoutland can only work with the guys he has. They weren't healthy. They weren't doing their jobs.
I agree 100%. However, when you're talking about the coaches, was it all Kevin Patullo's fault that the offense was failing? Nope. Because we can count the games where we was dropping balls. We can count the games where we couldn't block. We can count the games where Saquon Barkley was trying to make defenders miss 2 and 3 yards in the backfield. That wasn't on Kevin Patullo. Plus the penalties and plus the missed kicks and all of that kind of stuff. And I kept saying it. The games that we lost, there was only 1, maybe 2 games where we really got our asses kicked. Everything else, we gave them games away. We dropped balls, penalties, dropping passes, penalties in the red zone, turnovers in the red zone, all of that type of stuff. That ain't got nothing to do with Kevin Patullo. It's got to do, what did I call it? Player execution failure. And it was horrible on the offensive line. And the reason why I say I got to give Stoutland some of the blame is because he was the coordinator, the run coordinator, and wasn't nothing working. We could not run inside the tackles to save our life. The majority of our big gains, of our splash plays, like they like to call it, the majority of our splash plays on the ground was from Saquon and
Tank
Bigsby bouncing it outside. Yep. So we couldn't figure out the interior at all, and I'm blaming that on. I got to put it on Stoutland because if I can say that Kevin Patullo's passing acumen, his passing game acumen was trash. Why? Because we wasn't moving the ball around. We wasn't, we didn't utilize the quick slant. We didn't get the ball to AJ enough. We talked all of this stuff about what he should do. So we were giving him the blame. So if you're gonna keep it 100, you got to give Stoutland some of that heat too. And I hate saying that, but I got to keep it real because as a coach, we like Stoutland, so we don't want to do that. We can't stand Sirianni. So you quick to try to give him the axe. He don't know how to run a team. What does he actually do? We heard all of that stuff. We heard everything, but he got us to the Super Bowl twice. The coach that didn't nobody want. The coach that was planting flowers.
The coach that don't know what he's doing. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. You can't be as bad as they say he is and make it to 2 Super Bowls. You can't hide that.
Bruh, he went to the Super Bowl his first year as a coach. Are you kidding me? Not to mention, nobody knows his upbringing and his history in Ohio. I know a little bit about it. I know where he played ball at. I know where he comes from, and I understand the football in that part of my state. Let me say it like that. My state, Ohio, because I'm from Cincinnati, and I'd heard of some of the things that he was doing at Mount Union and all of that kind of stuff. A chip is a chip.
Yeah, well, his second season as the head coach, getting there, playoffs every single year, winning it. You can't.
Yeah, second year, Darth. My bad.
Yeah, second year. But they know what you mean, though. The reality is, we've seen people screw the pooch. We've seen it.
Fumble the bag, man.
We've seen people have it all and they can't get it done. There's an art. There's an art to not fucking it up. Sorry. I don't care what nobody said. There's an art to not messing it up. You know? Hey,
yeah.
I may not leave it better than what you found it, but I ain't make it worse than what you found it either.
Bro, all we got to do is look across the street. Look at the Phillies. 2 years in a row. They should have been in the World Series. And for whatever reason, they get hot. And then when it became crunch time, everything cooled off. It is so very difficult to win a championship. It is so very difficult. And people forget that, and to at least be in the hunt. And even saying that, I get angry because we wasted an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
We had a legitimate opportunity. Don't nobody thinks that we would have lost that game to freaking the Patriots. Or no, to Seattle. Wait a minute, who's in our division? The Patriots? No, we wouldn't have lost that game to the Patriots. Our defense was just as good, if not better than Seattle's. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we could not get that offense together, and we wasted an opportunity.
Bad, man.
And we might not ever get again because pieces are moving, players are getting traded. I saw the news about Nakobe possibly going to Dallas, and I was like, wanted to throw up.
Yeah, man, he's a free agent, man, and somebody gonna pay him.
Paper, bro. Get your paper, bro. I ain't mad at you.
He plays well.
I'm just in my feelings because it's him.
Yeah, somebody gonna pay him, man.
Yeah.
And look, it may not be Zack Baun money, but he's good, and when healthy, he can play with the best of them. So, we'll see how that turns out. But the AJ Brown stuff is.
I just don't want Dallas in no way, shape, or form being better than us.
Yeah, sometimes that's the bare minimum, right? Just be better than Dallas.
Exactly.
Just be better than Dallas.
And that's a big piece because Nakobe Dean can ball, and Nakobe Dean is smart, and Nakobe Dean can blitz and make tackles and everything. He can put everybody in the right spot. He is that dude.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But listen, man, we wasted that opportunity, and we got another one coming up because everybody's got moving pieces. Everybody's got moving pieces. Yeah. So, Howie, again, your turn. You up?
Yep. We'll definitely see how it works out because this AJ Brown stuff is, I've seen word that AJ Brown's or Howie Roseman's asking price for AJ Brown is, I think people said unrealistic or unreachable or unserious.
Good.
And I think they nailed it. You're right. He's not serious.
No.
You're right. You're absolutely right. He's not serious about trading AJ Brown. He doesn't want to trade AJ Brown. And also, it doesn't make business sense to trade AJ Brown.
No. It doesn't make team sense.
It doesn't make personnel sense, like team sense. It doesn't make business sense. It doesn't make it's not economically sound of a decision. You trade AJ Brown, not only do you take a loss in production, you take a loss on that cap.
The cap hit. AJ would have to agree to immediately sign a new contract before he got traded.
He literally just signed that $30 million deal.
Correct. He would have to agree to sign a new contract, lower his contract, or whoever wants to sign him would have to agree to take on some of that money.
And why would they?
Why would they?
So, and the thing is, on the outside looking in, people think they know what they know, right? But we're not in the building. We're not there. And Howie Roseman said, "Look, I'll listen." He said, I mean, I wouldn't be doing my job if I don't listen. But The reality, but if the word is that his asking price is, let's say hypothetically speaking, his asking price is a first and whatever you add into that. Well, most teams are not going to want to give up a first for AJ Brown right now. And especially with the contract. That just sometimes if people call you, you tell them a number that's so astronomical and make them stop calling. You sending a message without sending a message.
Yeah, and I still say I take AJ at his word until he shows me otherwise. A lot of this is much ado about nothing. I am acutely aware of, and I've said this before, it is very easy. It's very easy. All you got to do is listen. It is very easy to listen to the reports, Pat McAfee, ESPN, Stephen A., to listen to all of those guys and just kind of close your eyes and cut off the visuals and just listen. It's very easy to tell who's been invested and been following the Eagles and who hasn't. There's a difference between somebody that's been following the team and somebody that shows up at a desk and the production assistant shoves 10 pages worth of notes in front of their face. So you got to have context and you got to understand, have you watched the game? Do you know the temperature in the room? Most of these dudes don't. Most of these dudes don't. So again, it's a whole lot of grains of salt being taken with all of these reports. So until I see otherwise, if you can believe some of the stuff that you hear AJ say on the podcast and all of that kind of stuff, people want to take that as 100%. And by that logic, then I can take that he said he want to see what Sean Mannion's about. He want to give it a shot and see if two things can be true. So if he said one thing, then he can say another. But I don't see them trading him for everything you just mentioned. It's not worth it. It doesn't make sense on the team. We ain't going to get somebody that's better in production. And you mean to tell me that you want to drop in production on the field because you don't like his damn tweets?
Or somebody or find somebody that's proven.
Get out of here.
You could probably draft a receiver and he turns into something, but that's a gamble still at the end of the day.
That's a gamble, and that might be 2-3 years away.
Right. You still got to develop a guy. It's rare all these young guys come and hit the ground running. You know, of course you had the Emeka Ibuka come in and do what he did, right? But, you know, the rookies always hit that wall, and then they got to figure it out from there. Obviously Jamar Chase came in and did what he did, but Jamar Chase, I don't know. Like, would you consider Jamar Chase a generational talent at the position?
I would not consider him a generational talent, but I would consider him one of the elite receivers.
Okay.
When I hear generational talent, I'm thinking of Randy Moss.
Okay. So to your point, now I'm just curious. Who was the last generational talent at wide receiver to come into this league? In your opinion?
In my opinion.
Because the first name that comes to mind for me is Megatron.
But
I could be wrong though. I'm willing to be wrong.
Megatron was before. Megatron's older than Randy Moss.
No, he's not.
He's not?
No.
I thought Megatron was first.
No, Randy Moss came in the late 90s. Megatron got drafted in the 2000s.
That's right. You're right. Because Randy Moss's rookie year
was with Chris Carter.
Yep, was Randall's first year in Minnesota.
Yeah, when he came back out of retirement.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Megatron, T.O.
Somebody said Julio Jones. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. Because you got to remember,
Julio was different. Like people, Julio don't have the touchdowns to match.
I was just about to say that. It's all about where you play. I would even put DK Metcalf in there.
Nah, no.
But you know why I say that?
No.
No. Who? Name somebody that had the size and speed of DK Metcalf and could physically do the things that he could do. There is nobody that was that big and that fast. Not at wide receiver. You might have had some people at tight end that could do that.
But
Shannon Sharp, Antonio Gates.
He's a generational athlete. You don't really come across guys like that's built like that, but the skill to match.
I think he had the skill. I just think he was.
I don't think
so. Good look. He was in Seattle. Who was his quarterback?
Look, I think DK. I don't think DK runs better routes than AJ Brown.
I agree.
So I'm saying, like, it's just like I don't think DK run better routes than Chris Olave, Devontae Smith. DK is a physically imposing dude, but he doesn't run like Megatron. He wasn't just physical. The routes, like, just it was just unfuckwittable.
I can't argue with that. But I'm trying to think of somebody else.
Julio's probably the last.
What about Mike Evans?
Because we're Julio. Mike Evans. What y'all think about that, chat? Mike Evans. Mike Evans is Mr. Consistent, Mr. Reliable. It's not that easy to be as consistent as he was.
Yeah. It's a tough list, man. But
that's tough. Mike Evans has been.
Hold on. Who put Doyle Green Beckham?
like I don't think people I remember when Mike Evans got drafted, and from day one, he was a 1,000-yard receiver. From day he's I think he's I think Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer.
I agree.
Mike Evans is a Hall of Famer, but unfortunately, he doesn't have the first team All Pros. He has one second team All Pro. I'm sorry, he has 2 second team All Pros. And as fantastic as Mike Evans was there ever a season where he was definitively the best receiver that year? And I don't know if he was. No. I think Mike Evans' production was always overshadowed. His career was always overshadowed by certain guys that his career coincided with, like a Julio Jones.
Maybe Antonio Brown before he got hit.
Antonio Brown, like his career overlaps with those guys.
Yeah, I would say Antonio Brown until he took that hit. Y'all know my feelings on that. When he took that hit from Vontaze Burfict, he was never the same.
Antonio Brown,
different. Yeah, CTE.
He was different in his prime. I mean,
he was very different.
That 2013 to 2018 run,
he was unstoppable. What you say, unfuckwittable?
4 consecutive first-team All-Pros. So from 2014 to 2017, 4 consecutive first-team All-Pros, right? And Mike Evans was a rookie in 2014. So, and Mike Evans been getting it from that point forward. So from 2014 to 2017, Mike Evans was the man. But Antonio Brown was doing something ungodly. So, what about Justin Jefferson? Justin Jefferson has done some spectacular things, man, in such a short amount of time.
He has.
Like, I'm looking at his production. In 6 seasons, he already has over 8,000 receiving yards. In 6 seasons.
Yeah, I would have to.
You probably got to put Justin Jefferson in that generational category. You might have to.
He's a game planner, man. Every time you play him, you have to game plan him. So now we played him a couple times a couple years ago. We shut him down.
No, we did that. We did that. Yeah, man, it's interesting. It's interesting.
But you gotta look at the whole body of work.
You do. See, because there's guys that are productive and consistent, but were they a generational talent?
Yeah, you're right. But to that point, that's why I mentioned DK. Now, you probably right that he probably doesn't belong in that category, but when you're just talking about a freak of nature. But you're right, his production probably wasn't what it needed to be.
Nah, I can't put DK in that category. 7 seasons and he only has 3 1,000-yard seasons.
Oh, you're right. I can't argue with that.
Last season 850, 2024 992. He played in 15 games in consecutive seasons.
Yeah.
2023 just over 1,100. 2022 over 1,000. 2021 967. 2020 1,300 and 2019 900. I mean, he's a great receiver to have. Don't get it twisted, but I just don't think he just doesn't have that year-to-year consistency of pure. He's a red zone threat out the ass, though. But,
Larry Fitzgerald?
I don't know if Larry Fitz was a generational talent. He was super consistent, super reliable. I don't know if you consider Larry Fitz a generational talent.
Both him and Anquan.
Yeah.
Anquan both. They remind me of AJ and Devontae.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I mean, he got his gold jacket, though. So,
for sure. Hall of Fame, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough list, man. That's a tough list. Generational talent. It's hard to even think on that level, like who you got.
Because first you got to set the standard, right? Okay, Jerry Rice, generational talent. Randy Moss, generational talent. Megatron, generational talent. Terrell Owens, I would say generational talent.
Absolutely.
Now, okay, now we know what dog park we playing in. Who do we know was as dominant as those guys?
And Jigba?
This is Jigba's first year being this guy.
It's tough, man.
It's too young for me to put him in that category. And I think he's a
tough.
fantastic player.
That's a tough list to crack, man.
It is.
Come on, Chris. Jalen Reagor, really?
Nah. Oh, that's funny.
You got jokes.
For sure. But yeah, man, the combine was last week, and I didn't watch a single drill.
I did. I watched everything.
I didn't get a chance to. So, like I said, man, this job I don't be getting home too late. But give me some of your observations. What were the position groups that you were watching? And tell me anything that stood out to you.
I wasn't doing much homework. I was just watching it because I was working, but I always had it on. And I was always watching the replay. So obviously the two young fellas from Ohio that went to Ohio State, the Styles brothers, Sonny Styles and Lorenzo Styles, just put on an absolute show. I believe it was Sonny Styles had the best combine performance ever. He outjumped everybody, outran everybody at his size and his position. His agilities were off the chart. He had the best performance ever. And then him, linebacker from Ohio State, 6'3", 245 pounds, runs a 4.40 that got moved up to a 4.39 at 245 pounds. I had to go in and do I had to ask Chat GPT to do the physics on that to figure out how fast he was going in miles per hour at 245 pounds. And then his little brother got on the line and ran a 4.26.
Damn.
As a DB at 5'10", and I was like, I like big DBs. 5'10" is the floor for me. I don't want a 5'9" or 5'8" DB. I need size. That's why Quinyon is doing so well because he's 6'2", and Quinyon ran a 4.33.
Yeah, Quinyon like 6 feet, if I'm not mistaken, like 6 feet 6'1". Let me see.
He's not short.
No, he's not short at all, and he got long arms. Quinyon 6 feet 193.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Had a 38-inch vertical. Ran a 4.33. bench press 20 reps, 122 inch broad jump.
But I mean, you saw them putting on the show. I was watching. I put out a little YouTube short when the offensive linemen started running, and my advice to people was don't watch the 40-yard dash when the offensive linemen are running. The only thing you care about is the 10-yard split.
The 10-yard split. Yep.
That's all you care about. And in my opinion, offensive line and defensive line are the only positions where you can get any type of read on what type of athlete you got when they do their agility drills. All the stuff you be seeing with the skill positions, catching passes from both sides and all that kind of stuff, that shit don't happen in the game. So I don't want to see it. But when you get the offensive line and the defensive line, I can do those. I can watch them do their agility drills, and the only thing I got to do is concentrate on their feet. That's it. Specifically with the offensive linemen, watch their feet. Jason Kelsey had great feet. You know why he had great feet? Because he was a wrestler in high school and he knows how to skate. He was a hockey player, so he can skate. You got to have good feet. Jordan Mailata, soccer and rugby. You got to have good feet. That kid we got from the Rams, Willie Lampkin, was the NCAA champion in wrestling in college. You got to have good feet. That's what you got to look for on the offensive line. And so I was watching that a little bit because it was some of them big boys that was moving too. Like Jordan Davis style. You 315 pounds and you running a 5-flat 4.9.
Sheesh.
Hell, I don't even think people appreciate how much energy it takes for them guys to stop.
I was just about to say, like, when they're going that fast, they got to keep running at least another 40 yards to come to a complete stop.
Man, it takes a lot for you to stop.
Safely.
Yeah.
I don't think people know or understand what it means to run that fast, period.
It's oof.
Like, physically, what you're doing, you can't just stop and just like, perfect example. My cousin got his CDL, right? Shout out to my cousin Mark. He got his CDL. And he was saying that when you're trained to get it, and when you're operating those big Mack trucks, those big semis, you have to give yourself at least the length of a football field just to come to a complete stop.
Yes.
Because it's so much weight. And you're not going to be able to just stop on a dime. You're not just going to be able to stop 50 yards away from the car in front of you or 30 yards away from the car in front of you. You got to give yourself at least the length of a football field.
At least 100 yards.
So you can come to a complete stop safely.
You ever seen the memes that say that have the off-road with the dirt and gravel and the sand that goes up a hill? And people are like, what is this for? Because you don't really see them too much anymore. And all it is usually at a point in the highway, if it's going downhill, there'll be like what looks like an exit, but it's not. It just, the shoulder of the road opens up and there's a single lane that goes up a hill and it's gravel. And it is for.
Oh, I've seen that. Yes, I've seen that.
If an 18-wheeler loses the brakes, they get over in that lane and they roll up the hill.
Yep.
And the gravel and everything will slow them down.
Yes. Yep. I've seen that. I've always, when I first saw it, I was like, oh, okay. I just put the pieces together myself, but I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes. Mm-hmm. But the point is, these guys, when they're running this fast, we're talking about corners and DBs and receivers and running back, the big guys. When they running that fast, they have to give themselves another 40 yards to come to a complete stop, maybe more.
That is hard on you. That is very difficult. That was very hard on your quads and your knees. Because when we used to work out, we used to find where I live in South Jersey, there was a really, really nice hill at a park that was close by. So what we would do is we do our workouts, do our squats and jumps and sprints and all that kind of stuff. And then what you would do is you would do takeoffs. You would sprint up the hill, and then you had to walk down. Like you couldn't let the momentum take you and run down the hill. You had to walk down. and by the time you got back down that hill, man, your quads was on fire.
Mm.
So when them big guys is moving like that, when you got a guy that's 315 plus pounds and he runs under a 5 flat 40, man, that is a lot of muscle moving.
It makes me think about Jordan Davis and how spectacular that was. He ran a 4.78 at 3.
4.78. And just for people that want to know how fast that is, my combine, my second 40 was a 4.76. So now, mind you, I'm faster than that. I just had a bad day. I ran the 4.48 on my pro day at my school, so shut up. But 4.78, that's running back speed, dog. At 330 something pounds. And what's happening? Now, every year, you see more and more and more big guys that can run that fast. I saw a big guy that was like 295, 300, run a 4.8. And it's like it's getting faster and faster.
Yeah, man. These kids are just getting more and more. The resources they have, man, the nutrition, the evolution of man, the genetics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more. Putting in that chicken, bro.
There's more. Oh man, who knows, man? Who knows? But I mean, that's all I really had, really, to pick your brain. Oh man, as a matter of fact, the position of need for the Eagles right now, I feel like DB and O-line keep coming into my mind. What's your thoughts on that?
Yes. DB, O-line, tight end. I kept hearing them stories about Zack coming back, and I was like, that's nice, but no thank you. We need a blocking tight end. And then I see that kid Sadiq run a damn blazing speed, at 245 pounds again. And it's like, man, we need a blocking tight end.
Or your Quinyon Sadiq.
Quinyon Sadiq. That boy was a couple of them that just lit it up.
4.3 940 is crazy.
At his size? Come on, man.
The next closest guy ran a 4.48.
Come on, man. At his size, that is phenomenal. Like, what do you do when you got that much mass coming at you that fast? Scary, dude.
I don't know if you do anything, really.
Get your ass out the way.
The Eagles pick at what? What is that? Pick 22, 26, something like that? Let me double check.
You think he gonna make a move out the first round?
Do I think that tight end? Wait, are you asking about Howie?
Yeah. You think he would trade out?
That's a good question. The Eagles have the 23rd pick.
If he can get that pick away and get 3 more.
And for context, they drafted Quinyon Mitchell with the 22nd overall pick. And he fell to them.
You can get, there'd be some people willing to make that deal.
If you know what you're doing, you could probably find a guy there.
And you know how he knows what he's doing. We do our homework around here.
Because the way that draft was falling, I think in the Quinyon Mitchell draft, it took about maybe 12 or 13 picks before the first defensive player came off the board.
Yeah. Yeah. And then remember,
crazy.
The year before that, wasn't that when we got Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith?
It was that run on quarterbacks. It was what quarterback got drafted in that draft class? 2020.
Was that the Will Levis draft?
2023 draft class. All right, let me see. 2023 draft class. No, that was the Bryce Young, CJ Stroud class. So you have Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson, Anthony Richardson, Devin Witherspoon, Paris Johnson,
Anthony Richardson,
Tyree Wilson,
AR might be the biggest bust that we've seen in probably 20, 25 years.
Who?
Anthony Richardson. Anthony Richardson is what scares me about A.J. Brown.
Explain.
Anthony Richardson started, 9 games for Florida? And people told him, like, he wasn't ready. And they gambled anyway. And they lost.
I remember having a hot take that Anthony Richardson is going to end up being the best quarterback out of that draft. That aged terribly. But I was really just betting. I was just betting against the field. Everybody else was like, "Nah, I don't see it."
Yeah. But now's the time. Now's the time, man, where you got to do your homework. Now's the time where you got to do your homework.
Another guy who hasn't really panned out or been as productive as they expected was the kid Tyree Wilson out of Texas Tech. The Raiders reached for him. They reached for him. Paris Johnson, same thing. I heard Paris Johnson's kind of been, battling injuries the past couple years. Played in 14 games in 2024, 12 games in 2025.
You got how many? And we've had this conversation before. How many guys from the first rounds, early second rounds, live up to their draft status, or do they just turn into just the guy?
No, that's a good question. So let's look at the top 10, right?
That's what you're looking for.
Because Bryce Young, would you say Bryce Young so far has earned that first overall pick status? I say no.
No, he hasn't. He's better than what they thought he was going to be, and now that you finally got some blocking around him, he looked a lot better. Last year was his best season, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was his best season by far. He looked a lot better with a run game, a competent defense, and some good blocking, which is what any quarterback needs to be successful, by the way.
Thank you.
That's not just – no one is exempt from that.
That should be status quo.
He had no real help. They finally got him a receiver, too. So they got him a receiver, improved the O-line, and got him a better defense. He had a run game. Rico Dotto had a season. And he actually looked competent. Any quarterback needs those tools, you guys, to be successful. Period.
Look at Malik. Look at Malik Willis. Malik Willis was a bust in Tennessee. He was terrible in Tennessee. Then he changing environment, changing coaches, got somebody that can coach him up, show them what they're doing right, show them what they're doing wrong. Coaching matters.
It does.
Malik Willis made himself so much money.
Yeah.
Out in Green Bay.
CJ Stroud, pick 2. Will Anderson, pick 3. Anthony Richardson, pick 4. Devin Witherspoon, 5. Paris Johnson, 6. Tyree Wilson, 7. Bijan Robinson, 8. Jalen Carter, 9. Darnell Wright in Chicago at 10. Darnell Wright is a beast. But anyway, the CJ Stroud one is interesting because the Eagles hired a head coach from the Texans who coached CJ Stroud. He's been the quarterback coach. He was the quarterback coach for the Houston Texans for quite some time, for the past 3 seasons.
Yep.
Pretty much the entire time Stroud has been there. Stroud had that spectacular rookie season, and Stroud just couldn't get it together the past 2 seasons. He cleaned it up, and he cleaned it up in the second half of this season, or the season that just ended. If I'm looking at CJ Stroud's production, 2025 and 2023. I'm sorry, 2025 and 2024 did not live up to his rookie season by any stretch of the imagination. But, 14 games played, 2025, went 9-5, completed 64% of his passes, just over 3,000 passing yards, 19 passing touchdowns, 8 interceptions. So that's a 2-to-1 ratio. Still not his best season, but he cleaned it up in the back half. 2023 was obviously the year where he looked spectacular, where he won Rookie of the Year. Made a Pro Bowl, things like that.
Yeah.
You always ask what went wrong for the player. CJ Stroud, this past playoff run, 2 games played, went 1-1, only completed 51% of his passes, 2 passing touchdowns, 5 interceptions. That's inexcusable. So he was off. So he was awful in the playoffs.
It's always something, right?
And You know, he just hasn't really been able to match that rookie year production. It's just the truth. And I don't think Stroud's a bad quarterback, but something's been going on with him the past couple of years. But you bring in Gerard Johnson.
Let's see what he's gonna do with it.
And keep in mind, you guys, Gerard Johnson also interviewed for the Eagles OC job. And so did Josh Grizzard. And the Eagles ended up hiring Mannion at OC and ended up hiring both Grizzard and Johnson as pass game coordinator and quarterback coach, which is fascinating to me.
Dude, all I see is Howie Roseman with a Uno reverse card.
Reverse. Hey, listen, don't check out your hotel just yet.
Oh my God. And Tiffany, if you in the chat, I did check out Enrique Cruz Jr. He can move. I haven't had a chance to watch his agilities yet, but he can move. I think he ran under a 5.0. So, and I know he's got good hands. So I gotta do some more homework so I can see his agility drills and see what his feet look like.
Yeah. Also, Gerard Johnson, he did interview in 2024 with the Philadelphia Eagles for the OC job. The Eagles ultimately went with Kellen Moore.
Yes.
Good on them in the hindsight.
Ring out of it.
But Gerard Johnson, he was a 3-year starting quarterback at Texas A&M, went undrafted, but was in training camp with the Eagles at Lehigh in the summer of 2011. He also spent time with the Steelers, Seahawks, Bears, the Ravens, and Cowboys through 2016, but never played in a regular season NFL game. He began his coaching career in 2017 with the 49ers as part of the Bill Walsh Diversity Coaching Fellowship under Mike Shanahan.
I remember that.
On the staff that also included Jeff Hafley, Mike LaFleur, Mike McDaniel, D'Amico Ryans, Rich Scangrello, and Bobby Slowick. That's a pretty nice Rolodex of talent in terms of coaching.
Especially after this hiring cycle.
Yeah, I think Jeff Hafley just took that head coaching job in Miami. Mike LaFleur, isn't he the OC for the Rams? Mike McDaniel, we know who he is, right? Miami Dolphins did what he did there. Now he's with the Chargers. D'Amico Ryans, head coach of the Texans, which makes sense. Gerard Johnson followed him there, became his quarterback coach. Rich Scangarello and Bobby Slowick. Bobby Slowick was the OC. For the Houston Texans. Followed D'Amico Ryans as well. So there is a connection. We'll see. They've definitely surrounded Jalen Hurts with guys who've done it before.
Yep.
Out of all four hires, OC, pass game coordinator, and quarterback coach. And I want to say out of all three hires, two of them former players.
We close to the vest, man. We got a lot of muscle memory in
Former
coaching
players.
in the coaching rooms now, man. A lot of muscle memory.
It's going to be, again, I don't have a strong opinion either way because we don't know what it's going to be. But I think this is a big year for Jalen Hurts.
I agree.
Only because, not because he has to prove something, like in terms of can you win with him? He won the Super Bowl and was Super Bowl MVP. You can win with him. Sam Darnold, hey, he proved you can win with him.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to sit here and change the rules because I like Jalen Hurts more than Sam Darnold. No, Sam Darnold proved you put the pieces around him. You can win with him. And I think any coach, any GM, when you drafting a guy, when you hiring a guy, can you win with him? You don't care about him being leading the league in this, leading the league in that. Can you win with him? All right.
Exactly. That's what it comes down to.
So Jalen Hurts proved that already. Now it's all about proving can Jalen Hurts elevate his game to a new level in the regular season. Can he do things statistically he never did before? Right? Can we just see an overall elevation in the product itself? Because I know I can win with him. I'm not concerned about his winnability. So we'll see. We'll see, man. You hire guys. A lot of these guys that are hired these days are former players. So I don't think it's any concern because I think one of our guys here, Dagger, says might be too many chefs in the kitchen, though.
Yep.
We'll
see.
We'll see. It's not an unreasonable assumption.
It could. I don't know these coaches, and I don't know their personalities.
Exactly.
Because you could have a clash, and ego gets in the way. But I think we'll be fine. I think they know what they're doing. They understand what it looks like. But they still made the decision. So there's a reason why they made that decision. And again, I trust Howie and I trust Jeff. And hell, I trust Sirianni. And we back again. And again, I'm looking at everybody else. Looking at everybody else in the division, everybody else in the conference. Who are we to be afraid of?
And one thing I'll say about the Eagles and their infrastructure, they tend to make it very clear how the hierarchy rolls.
Yeah.
That's one thing that's ever been confusing with the Philadelphia Eagles, the hierarchy. So I don't think that changes because we got some new faces in the building.
Nah.
Right now, we're in a season of uncertainty. It's exciting, but it's also scary at the same time. But I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
At the end of the day, QB1 is out there, so we got a shot.
Yep. And the Eagles also brought in a new assistant off-ball linebackers coach, former Army D-line coach Alan Smith. Smith was the defensive line coach for Army for one season, and prior to that, he was the D-line coach for Georgia State from 2022 to 2024. He does have some NFL experience as part of the Texans coaching staff in 2021 as an assistant defensive line coach, but was coaching at the collegiate level from 2012 to 2020. So a lot of experience there.
A lot of experience.
So we'll see, man. We'll see how this thing pans out, you guys. Other than that, anything you want to get to?
No, man. I'm just I got a lot of homework this week. A lot of homework because I want to go back, look at the draft, look at the combine again, and really start taking a look at who we have, who we might look at. Because to me, that's the big news that we got to figure out now. What is the Eagles? Who are their targets? Me and Tiffany were going back and forth because on one of my posts I said pick two people, and let's do some homework on two people. Why do you want them? What position do you want them? Doesn't matter who it is. Just trying to see who we're looking at, because that's the big thing. And of course, there's always a couple of good performers at the combine that shakes up the board. Where they're like, I didn't know Sadiq was going to do that. Does somebody want a tight end? Does somebody need a linebacker from, the kid, Sonny Styles from Old State? Do you want a linebacker that bad? Now, based on those performances, are other teams willing to move up to make a move? So that's kind of the excitement. But again, it goes down to Howie. Who are we looking at? What's number one on the list? Is it offensive line? Is it tight end? It's probably offensive line, knowing Howie. He's got a track record. So let's see what we gonna see. I'm ready for it, man. It'll be here before you know it, bro.
Yeah, and Sirianni is familiar with Gerard Johnson, by the way. In 2019, Gerard Johnson, he joined the Colts staff as part of the Bill Walsh diversity program and spent 3 years with the Colts, the first 2 years alongside Nick Sirianni and Frank Reich. And he's
trying to make his tree. He's trying to make his tree.
He spent time with Marcus Brady, Jonathan Gannon, Jason Michael, and Kevin Patullo on the staff as well. In 2022, Gerard Johnson served as Kevin O'Connell's assistant quarterbacks coach with the Vikings, and in 2023, he became DeMeco Ryan's quarterback coach. So Kevin O'Connell was a guy that knows what he's doing. I think Kevin O'Connell is a phenomenal head coach, man. He's just been snake bitten at the quarterback position. So yeah, man, we got some smart people in the building.
Yes, we do.
It just got to pan out.
Yes, we do.
All right,
big time.
That's the show, you guys. We really do appreciate y'all for locking in. As always, it means a lot to us. Make sure you guys smash that like button. Make sure you guys are subscribed to both channels, man. We definitely do not take it for granted. Do not take it for granted at all, man. The season of uncertainty.
It's Howie season, man.
Sure enough.
I got faith.
Sure enough. And I want to make you guys privy to some important dates that are coming up in the NFL. As we know, the 23rd through the February 23rd through March 2nd was the NFL Combine. March 4th is franchise tag deadline day.
Yep.
So
that is tomorrow.
So any teams that are giving out the franchise tags, the deadline is tomorrow. We're going to see a handful of those drop. March 9th through the 11th is the legal tampering period. We're going to start seeing all these contracts coming across the wire, right? And then March 11th, officially at 4 p.m., the 2026 league year and free agency begins. April 6th, off season. That's when the snow start rolling downhill. April 6th, off-season workouts begin. New head coaches. April 17th, the restricted free agent offer sheet deadline. And April 20th, off-season workouts begin for returning head coaches.
Right.
April 23rd through the 25th, NFL draft, baby. And May 1st is the fifth year option deadline. And that's where we're going to find out whether Nolan Smith's fifth year option gets picked up. We're going to see Jalen Carter's fifth year option get picked up, and likely you may see an extension coupled with that.
Yep.
And yeah, man. Yeah.
We got some work to do.
But I am excited, man. For me personally, when free agency starts, that's when my personal like work. I don't know if the word is work ethic, but when my output gets back into full gear.
So much that's going on.
Yeah.
So much going on.
Because right now it's been kind of slow.
Yeah.
So you do what you can, but the reality is once free agency starts, that's when I get back in my mode. So I'm excited about that, man. And that's gonna be here before we know it, y'all. All right. There we have it.
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. He's Marcus Thomas. I'm your guy, Tone DeShields II. You guys have been tuned in to the Bald Eagles podcast. As always, fly Eagles fly, and it's straight like that.
Oh my God. I can't wait. Where's my I lost the thing on it. Oh, there we go. Go Birds. I'm out.
In the city of Philly, where the birds take flight, Eagle swag on the rise each and every night. Tone and Markus got the scoop ready to ignite. From the lanes of South Street to the Baun Street lights, dashing like a running back, hitting every play. Fly guys in the zone, never led astray. Talking touchdowns, talking game day. Huddle around the mic, hear what they gotta say. Fly like an eagle soaring in the sky. Tone and Markus always